The Legend of Zelda is a franchise that spans almost half a century. In all my years, I've heard of it, but I never really played it. I had a NES when I was little and only played Mario, but then I got the cooler guy, the PlayStation. So, not having the ability to play a Nintendo game until GameCube, that's when I played my first Zelda game, Four Swords. I'm pretty sure I had dementia, so I don't remember anything really about it. But as I've grown older and played numerous RPGs, I have felt a little left out when Zelda was ever brought up. It was always around me and I've heard of the characters in it, but I've never experienced it. Welcome, and well met, for today I go on a journey to play the first Zelda game, the 1986 one on the Nintendo, simply titled The Legend of Zelda. My goal with this channel is to play games I've never played or replay games I haven't played in so long from my childhood that I don't remember a thing about them. And right now, the goal is to play the Zelda games in order. I probably won't play every one of them, but that's something for a future me to figure out. My background with Zelda is mostly unorthodox. You remember the Legend of Neil?
You are on a quest to defeat Lord Ganon and save all of Hyrule.
No, actually, I'm Neil, alright? I'm from Trenton.
You are Link. You are on a quest.
Neil.
Link.
Neil.
Alright, fine, Neil. Link.
My name is Neil, okay? I got a little drunk last night. Somehow I ended up here.
It was an older web series parody of The Legend of Zelda. Very funny for its time. But as I play through the game, that's things that's gonna come to mind the most. Yes, I know the difference between Zelda and Link. I know we play as Link, a young elf who's off to gather the Triforce, whatever that is, and save the princess from Ganon. I'm already simping for an elf girl and I just started. The Hyrule theme gets immediately beat into my head as I start and I go off to slay. No, I don't. I don't have a sword. Link came out the box without a sword. What is he, stupid? Luckily, there's an old man with the iconic, "It's dangerous to go alone. Take this." And he gives me a wooden sword. Thanks, Gramps. Now go back to bed while I go play. Now the slaying commences. I have no idea what I'm doing or where I'm going, so I go around aimlessly murdering and pillaging rupees with my wooden sword until I find something. I have no idea what I'm looking for, but I know it when I'll find it. At this time, I'm not using a guide. This changes later as this game would be unbeatable without it, or it'd take me at least 20 years, and I don't got that kind of time. I will note, even though it's upscaled, I do find the old NES graphics pretty charming, including the sound effects. My first death is an arrow to the knee while surrounded by what I assume is orcs. I simply restart at the first spawn, keeping my rupees and anything on me as I'll later find out. In dungeons, we respawn at the start, so basically death is just a run back and time sink. It seems to have infinite continues. I didn't notice my first time and I end up restarting. I find a shop and I'm too much of a peasant to buy a simple candle. Fucking inflation these days, man. I get into a war with orcs and these smoochy faces. After I enter their wood without consent, that is. And I happen upon a lake with a lone orc. I'll even be. He seems to be having a good time. I get caught up in the lost woods and orcs corner me. I battled them to the death, but eventually they were too much for me. At some point, I'm going to go hollow if I keep this up. Eventually, I happen upon my first dungeon. I shouldn't be here yet, but I don't know any better. So I enter with excitement. My first dungeon ends up being level 3, titled The Manji. According to the guide I end up using later. I don't know what it means. There is a lot of green here. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I assume there's a boss waiting for me here for me to slay. I'm not going to go over the entire dungeon in every room. We don't have time for that. My main enemies end up being those armored knight guys. Fuck them, seriously. Especially the blue versions later. My first boss is Manhandla or something. The game suddenly feels like a bullet hell. This is when I definitely feel like the game is significantly harder if you aren't at full HP so that you can shoot your sword beams. Not having this range option kinda sucks. I wouldn't say kinda, it really sucks. It really hampers the game. It eventually cracks my head, and I come back and I get it down enough to finish it with a bomb. And with that, my first boss is slain, and I take his heart and the Triforce he was guarding. The first dungeon's complete. 8 more to go. Oh, I found a very hiding spot. If only she functioned the same here as it was in the show. I paid some old hag money to tell me how to get through the forest, and I do that. Nice sound effect. I opt to dodge most fights just to explore. Finding myself in a cemetery I'm clearly not supposed to be at. And then, another dungeon. Level 6. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be here yet, but I'm stubborn. The left room is locked, and so the only way is to the right. A dark room with death. Wizard robes, the other bane of my existence. I eventually murdered him and get the key and head north, greeted by an old man with info I can't use. Ouch. Without a key, I can't progress, so I leave. Eventually, my adventures take me to where I should be. Level 1, the Eagle. I really like the music though. It's pretty spoopy. Speaking of spoopy, I get attacked by some scary skeletons. They aren't bad actually, though this is level 1. One of them sadly had the munchies for keys, so I gotta liberate that. Then I meet the boomerang guys. They were so busy having fun throwing boomerangs at each other, they didn't realize I was blasting them with my sword beam. Ah, of course, traps. Oh shit, a bow! My first secret item. Though, not really much of a secret since it's basically required to beat the game. Sadly, I don't got no arrows, so no use yet. They cost rupees to use sometime later, so guess what? I don't use it. I may have shot it a couple of times throughout my playthrough. I tussle with some more boomers and they give me their weapon as a reward. It freezes dudes in place. Very nice for stabbing. I hear the sound of a boss and I see the hand guy from Smash? What's he doing here? And there's more than one. And I die. Fantastic. I eventually get rid of them and head into the screaming room to meet a dragon. I don't care his name, he's dragoning me. I literally just stand in the same couple of squares in line and blast him with sword beams until he goes down. Steal his heart and another Triforce obtained. My journey continues with my new trusty boomerang and I find the old man again, giving me his spicy love letter for the old woman. Assumingly, so I can talk to her. She will think it was for me. But first, a new dungeon? Already? No. The old man has set up a gambling ring in this cave. The money-making game. I totally didn't cheat this. Come on, what do you want from me? What do you want me to do? Spend hours killing enemies endlessly hoping they give me their scraps of rupees? I've gone through 2 dungeons and not even got 100 rupees yet. And I need so much more. So yeah, I bargained with Dormammu and I took the old man for all he's worth and went on about my day. Seeing at a nice cap of 255, I immediately found a shop and bought everything. And I did it again. Don't judge me! The old man had it coming. He gave me a wooden sword and said, "Go save the princess, Link. Don't get hurt now, or it becomes a stick." Anyways, I get a big shield and a candle, later finding the arrows that cost me the rupees per shot. Then I visited the old woman and I got some of her medicine. Now, it's at this point I start using a guide. There's all kinds of secret little holes and items to get due to this being an older game. I didn't even think about it, honestly. Not just in dungeons, but in the overworld as well. Random sides of mountains and trees. A lot of these have heart containers, which you need to raise your HP and to be allowed to wield stronger swords. Speaking of, I find the not so hidden cave with the old man who gives me the Master Sword. But only if I have enough hearts, which I do now, thanks. Now we can slay. I also grabbed a blue ring that's for sale under a dude who gives me way too much trouble. Apparently it has the damage taken, which is busted. But also kind of not, because there's a better one and you kind of need this stuff. I don't feel bad about the guide despite wanting to be blind going in. It was so necessary to get these items to make the game more fun later, otherwise it would just be frustrating and I'd be getting one shot. I'm sure it's doable, but this isn't a challenge run. I don't have the time or patience to beat my head against a wall like that. Anyway, on to level 2, the moon. It's really blue, and there's snakes, that's nice. My new sword and boomerang do wonders. Clearly I'm now overgeared just with the sword and ring alone. Also, I don't know when it happened, but I'm white now. Oh look, more snakes. I quickly find the boss room on accident, and it's a rhino dude. My new sword is too weak. Damn it, old man, you're useless shit. Apparently you're supposed to make him eat bombs. I just let him tank 2 of them and then stabbed him in the butt and he went down, giving me his heart and a Triforce. Now, I did have to go back since I wasn't using the guide for the dungeons. I missed a magic boomerang hidden in this gaggle fuck of blue boomerang guys and statues firing fireballs. It just goes a further distance, but it's otherwise the same. Now I get kinda confused. The guide wants me to use the raft at these docks. Guess what? I don't have a raft. I missed it in level 3, because I wasn't using a guide at the start of the game. So yeah, I gotta use a guide for dungeons now for sure. We get some more secrets and go to the next dungeon. Level 4, the snake. We do battle with these blue fat bat guys who also turn into redder, stronger bats than the others. It also gets dark for the first time it's supposed to. My dumbass doesn't know how to use a candle at this point and I just powered through it. I also meet the IHOP cake guys. They take a few hits to kill even with my new slaying skills, but something I didn't know at the time, if they grab you, they steal your shield. Absolutely rude, I love it. I go the rest of the game without even realizing since blocking felt finicky and I never even bothered to even try it and I just never noticed. I eventually get to step ladder, another hidden required item. It lets us cross a square of water. Oh, it's the last level's boss as a mini boss. He absolutely bullies me even after getting a bomb on him. I even tried to use my bow here to get the final shot. He was hiding a fairy. Doesn't get me to max though. More news from the old man. I have no idea what he was referencing here. Boss time. A Hydra. I don't have sword beams and boomerang is ineffective, so I go Old Testament and I start stabbing. We basically trade until I'm the victor, claiming his heart and Triforce. Now I'm halfway through the game. I go back through the Lost Woods to the cemetery to find the old man Grave Robin, and he has the real Master Sword. Apparently the other sword was just a magic sword. Now we slay. Straight into level 5, the Lizard. I really don't understand these names. Maybe the snake was about the Hydra, or the guy that did his guide is messing with me. Jumpy boys that are immune to the ring. Not nice. But everything is weak to sword. We also got Michelin men with keys in them. Poor guys. I'll take it if you don't want it. I eventually find the boss room. He's got statues with fireballs and his big destructo disc. I'm utterly useless against it, because I didn't get the secret item. Nothing works including bombs, and I can't hurt the statues, so I go on the hunt. Of course, blue knights stand in my way. These guys suck. You can only hit them from the back or the sides, and they're so quick to turn like they are reading your inputs. These guys give me more trouble than anything else in the game, except maybe the Rizzer Robes. Once we go through them, we got the recorder, or the flute. Apparently playing this weakens the Disco Man. Reminds me of Gogen Dances from Onimusha. No heart, but we acquire another piece of the Triforce. If the princess hid these, why are all of them protected by monsters? I think she's working with Ganon. Level 6 with a vengeance. I have keys now, so I murder the Wizard Robes and go deeper in. These guys are all over the place and they hit like trucks. Then we got blue robes, yellow robes, and pancakes and orbs. Rude, but okay. Okay, well they bully the shit out of me anyways. This becomes a fun game of cat and mouse, dodging and ducking around pillars and I'm just getting blasted, okay? I eventually find the magic wand. It basically lets me have a ranged attack for free now. Useless information from the old man, as usual. I meet the boss, Mr. Krabs. In my hubris, I thought I could just stab him in the eye. He said that ain't it, chief. You have to shoot him in the eye with your bow. He goes down easily enough after he decides to wake up. New heart, more Triforce. Remember the lone orc? He was guarding the next dungeon. Used the flute to uncover the lake and there it is. Level 7. Lots of green and boomerang guys. Destructo Disc Man returns as well. More bad info from the old man. I find a guy who's really hungry. Luckily I bought some meat that was procured with honest money, and I give it to him. Found the secret red candle and faced off against the dragon. Again. Going down just as easily as before. More hearts, more Triforce. Things are speeding up now as we head straight to level 8. Things are gray now, and we are seeing all kinds of recurring enemies. A magic book I'm not sure what does, and the room. The dreaded room of knights and turrets. Whoever made this room can suck my toes. Crab battle commences once again. He takes a few more arrows this time. More shitty info from the old man. And actually, this is kind of okay. It's a hint to where the final dungeon's at, even though I could probably not make any sense of it. More flippin' knights decide to fuck with me. We find a skeleton key from Elder Scrolls. What's it doing down here? I have no idea. But it gives us infinite keys. Boss time. The Hydra. Remember last time? Happened this time. Didn't even feel stronger. The final heart and the final Triforce. It's time to see what this Ganon guy is all about in level 9. This dungeon is fucking massive. It's like 80 something rooms, all with twists and turns and hidden bombable sides. Luckily, I have a guide to help me get through it in a reasonable time. It's mostly just like the last dungeon, rehashes of old enemies and secret stairways that take you to different parts of the dungeon. The map layout looking like the Rock's entrance. Or a skull. I don't know. We find a red ring, reduces the damage even further to 1/4, I believe. Thanks, Gramps. You're the image of wisdom. We find a silver arrow needed to kill Ganon. After traversing this monster of a dungeon, we find the Big Cheese himself. He teleports around while invisible, shooting at me with greater vanish up. So I gotta stab him when he's close. We tussle like this for a while. The princess's face on my mind as I fight bravely against the large green man. Each blow calculated. Eventually, he lies still, weak. I pull back and I send an arrow into his heart. It's over. He leaves me a big Triforce. I grab it. I go to my princess, ready for my reward. Oh, fuck, fire! Princess, I can't save you. There's fire. My arch enemy. Oh, just slap it. And that's it. We saved Hyrule. Oh, fuck, seizure. Now, peace returns to Hyrule. It was a fun game. Didn't take many hours, was challenging. Has the old school challenge where it doesn't respect your time at all. Little kid me would have loved to play this with one of those strategy guys that used to make. It has the iconic Hyrule theme everyone knows. I see inklings of what I've heard coming from it, such as the Triforce, but I haven't heard the "yeah" yet. For me, this was my first experience. For you, probably memory lane. If this was your first introduction to Zelda, I'm sorry. But for now, Hyrule is safe. I hope you enjoyed watching this. This is my first video attempt at such a series, and if you're watching this, I've decided to go all the way with it. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you on my next journey. Good night.